Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Beginner Guitar Lessons. Now, today we're not really going to deal with the guitar itself. I want to touch on some subjects that I constantly see questions for, both on YouTube and Facebook. There's a lot of people out there that just don't understand how a major scale is put together and how you get the chords from the major scale. So, we're going to deal with the C major scale for today, since that's the simplest scale to look at. There's no sharps or flats, all natural notes, okay? If you're playing the piano, then you'll think of it as all white keys, all right? Now, the C major scale, which I'm going to put up on screen, is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then, of course, the octave C. It's important to remember that there are 12 notes in music. So that is step one. 12 notes. And those notes being the 7 natural notes and the 5 sharps and flats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the chromatic scale just for reference so you can see all the notes available in music, whether it's a natural note, a sharp, or a flat. Okay? So here is the chromatic scale, and as you can see, we're starting on C. We go from C to C sharp, and then we go up through the half steps, okay? Essentially, you have that chromatic scale right there going through all the notes, one by one, half step to half step, all the way through. So there are 12 notes in music, and each one of those notes is the starting note of its own scale. And the major scale is the foundation for all music theory. So anything that you're doing, theoretically speaking, can be sourced back to the major scale. All right? Now, here's the C major scale. All right? Now, I want you to listen. I'm going to play the G major scale next. I want you to notice that both scales are major, and they both have the same quality of sound. And what I mean by that is the notes and the intervals that are used to create the major scale. Those notes and it well, the notes aren't the same. Let's not confuse this. The notes aren't the same. The spellings are different, but the intervals between the notes are all the same. So you start off with the root note. You're going to go up a whole step. All right. Then you're going to go up another whole step. Then you're going to go up a half step. Then you're going to go up another whole step, another whole step, another whole step, and then a half step. All right? Now that whole half step intervallic formula is specific to the major scale. All right? And that can be done and repeated from every single note in music. All 12 notes, known as the chromatic scale, all half steps. If you use that half whole intervallic formula I just discussed, you will get all 12 major scales. Okay? That's why the major scales all sound the same, because they're all using the same formula. That brings me to the next point, which would be chords. All right, now how do you get chords from scales? Well, in the same way that there's different types of scales and different types of intervallic formulas that make up those scales, the same goes for chords, right? Like the major chord is starting on any note as the root, right? And then you're going to go up, you're going to do what's called a major third interval. And then on top of that, you're going to do a minor third interval, all right? And that's a major chord, right? Now, a minor chord is where you're going to do a minor third interval between the first two notes, and then a major third interval between the first two notes. So everything in music is about an intervallic relationship between two completely different notes. If it's, a minor third apart, it's a minor sound. If it's a major third apart, it's a major sound. Okay? So it's important to know, again, little checklist, important to know or number one, that there's 12 notes in music, number one. Number two, there's a specific intervallic formula that goes through all of those notes that then creates what we know as the major scale. And then from the major scale, you have a whole plethora of types of chords that can be formed, which also use specific intervallic formulas. All right, now in future lessons, I'm going to go through specific chords with their specific intervallic formulas. I'm not going to throw it all here. I feel like that would be too much, but this is an introduction for what's coming. So in future lessons, we're going to discuss the major and the minor. Then we're going to get into the major 7, minor 7, dominant 7. We'll talk about diminished. I'll even throw in things like augmented, suspended chords, and eventually we'll talk about the upper extensions as well. But just know, 12 notes in music, all right? To get the major scale sound, you have to use a specific intervallic formula. And then to get chords from scales, you also have to use a specific intervallic formula for each chord, depending on what chord it is. And again, we will go through those piece by piece, episode by episode going forward. I hope that I touched a nerve here with some people. I really want everybody to get this once and for all. I'm so sick of seeing people so lost on something that in reality isn't that difficult to begin with. It's just that nobody seems to know how to explain it in a way that people can understand it. Everybody internalizes this on their own level, and some people aren't as good at regurgitating it to others. But I hope that I'm helping someone out there. And I look forward to doing more of these in the upcoming episodes. Have a great day, everybody. Check out the comment section. Leave some requests for things you want to learn. Ask questions. I will respond to your comments. Please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great day.